What's up, y'all? My name is Eli. On this Friday, I made the perfect trade on Coca Cola. I also traded Netflix, American Express, and ALB, which is an apparel company, the parent company for Victoria's Secret. So let's get to today's trades. So KO was the last trade that I made. We'll start with KO. And so KO was up about 2% in the pre-market because it beat its quarterly earning, and Coca-Cola was the last stock that I traded. And what I saw on Coca-Cola was, one, on the daily chart, we've been consolidating between 53 and 55 since September, pretty much. So since the stock was consolidating on the daily chart, once it broke out of this range, range, most likely it was going to go higher. So what I saw was, in the open, sellers tried selling the stock down, but it kept bouncing off this red line, which is the 200 moving average on the 2-minute chart. And once I saw the double bottom, so this is one bottom, this is the second bottom, and these bottoming tails imply buying pressure, meaning that when sellers try selling it down, it was just being bought back up. So I went long at 54.62 with my stop being the low of this bar. So I think I was risking about 10 cents or so on this per share, and I went pretty heavy in terms of size, and I took some off at 54. No, I sold some actually at 55.08. I sold some at 54.97 because I figured 55, the whole number, could act as resistance. I took some off at the high of day, which is 55.08, and I took the rest off at I actually took more off at 55.22, and then I took the rest off at 55.25. I was gonna try to hold some to see if we could break this line, this blue dotted line, which is pre-market high. And pre-market, it came to this price and it rejected once, twice. So I knew that most likely it was going to get to this level and sell off, but I just decided to take the rest off once the low of this bar got violated, and that's where I got out. So this was a super profitable trade, and I'm very proud of it. It's probably my best trade in terms of my entry and how I managed the trade, and in terms of how I partialed out. So proud of this trade. The first trade was on LB. LB was on my watch list because it was down about 6% in the pre-market. LB is the parent company of companies such as the Victoria's Secret. It's an apparel company, and all the apparel companies, they got downgraded by an analyst, so they were all gapping down. And what I saw on LB, I'm also proud of how I managed this trade. So we sold off in the pre-market, but then we tried popping up in the open, but sellers pushed it down, saying this topping tail, which implies selling pressure, and saying that this bar was engulfed by this red bar. So sellers are engulfing the buyers, and we were penetrating the moving averages. I went short at 16.86 with a stop right above the high of this bar. So my stop was kind of wide, so I did take less size on this, and it dropped. I took 50% of my position. I covered the 50% of my position at 16.42, literally at the low of day, well, about 4 cents above low of day. And the rest, once I saw that we were not making a new low and we broke above VWAP, I took the rest off here. So this was a winner, and I'm happy with the way I handled this trade, because I captured profit, and once it started to come back up and broke VWAP, I got out. I did not want to risk the profit that I made on it. So this was the first trade, LB. The second trade was on Netflix. Netflix. Yeah, I was watching Netflix because despite crushing its quarterly earning, it sold off yesterday, and then today I reasoned that maybe the selling will stop, people will buy the dip, and we sold off in the open. But seeing this green bar with a bottoming tail, I went long with a stop literally at the break of this bar, and I used a hard stop. So today I used hard stops. I just want to not have to deal with the emotions of you know what, maybe it's not gonna stop me out. Like, I'm just gonna put in a hard stop. So that's what I did on Netflix, and I got stopped out. In hindsight, I mean, first of all, good thing I stopped out, because if I hadn't stopped out, it would have continued, because it continued dropping. So I'm happy with the way I managed this trade. Now it looks like it's finding a bottom. It's finding a bottom at 277. What level is this? Yeah. Oh, and the other reason I went long Netflix was actually on the daily chart. We were bouncing off this orange line, which is the 50 simple moving average on the daily chart. So I thought that with this kind of bullish bar, we could potentially bottom here and move higher. But it looks like Netflix is just selling off. Someone is just pushing this thing down. So this was the second trade. The third trade was on America Express, AXP, and AXP, they beat their quarterly earning, but despite that, they sold off, and I decided to take a long here at 117.56, because on the 5 minute we did not make a new 5 minute low, and I reasoned this could be the bottom. I went long, but my stop was very tight. I figured if it doesn't penetrate and test VWAP, it was most likely gonna come back down and make a new low. And so I had a tight stop on it. I got in at 117.56, and I got stopped out at 117.10, and now it's just chopping around. It doesn't know what. Well, yeah, well, I guess it did find the bottom. In theory, if my stop was wider, I could have still been in this trade, but if I were in this trade, I wouldn't have been in the Coca Cola trade, which actually made my day and made my week, because I only place 4 trades. This keeps me accountable. This keeps me waiting for the best setups. Like, literally, I tell myself, you have 4 bullets. Are you sure you want to waste a bullet on this stock? Are you sure you want to waste an opportunity on this stock? And I always look at my risk as well. Not only my profit target, but if I use up this opportunity, where is my risk? How much am I going to risk on this trade? And this is what keeps 90% of traders profitable. Or no, 10% of traders profitable and 90% of traders lose money, because people are thinking about how much can I make instead of how much am I willing to risk. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to comment below. I will see you guys on Monday. Peace.